Let's find something to sketch today. And there's lots of leaves. There's a little maple leaf. Very colorful. Oh, here's some lichen. There's some lichen on this old piece of bark. What else? What else can we find here? Some little bits of acorn. Here's a little acorn cap. Somebody ate the acorn. Oh, what's this? This leaf, oh my, this leaf has a little pumpkin on it. It's an oak leaf. This is an oak leaf gall, but it looks like a little orange pumpkin. Oh, that's going to be super fun to sketch. Howdy, Possum Patty here. Well, back in the peanut gallery, we have the entire Soggy Bottom bunch. We have some October visitors, a sweet little gnome, and Flat Stanley. I know, the table gets crowded. Well, I was just walking up the lane, taking a little walk, looking at the leaves, and they're turning colors and falling from the trees. It's a beautiful time of the year. I was in the mood to do a little watercolor leaf painting. So I'm looking at the ground, I'm picking up a few different leaves, and then I picked up this oak leaf. And when I turned it over, there was this little fuzzy creature sitting on the back. I was like, I have to learn more about that. And when I held it at a certain angle, it looked like a little pumpkin. And I was like, oh, I'm bringing this in and learning more about it and going to do a little sketch, a little watercolor painting. Well, let's see what happens. Come on along. Now, I looked up the little fuzzy thing that's on the leaf, and it is a gall, G-A-L-L. And galls, many galls are formed by tiny wasps. I know I've seen galls on goldenrod. This is called a woolly oak gall. The mama wasp lays an egg on the leaf and also injects a chemical that stimulates the plant cells to grow into these funny shapes, and they go around the baby wasp and protect it, and the larvae of the wasp grows inside. Yeah, it's just an amazing thing, to have this tiny, tiny wasp inject chemicals into the plant leaf and have the plant leaf itself form a protective little house there for the baby to live in. Nature is amazing. Well, anyway, this one looks like a pumpkin. I could see the ridges. I could see the little stem at the top there. I was thinking about drawing maybe both sides of the leaf and then cutting them out and doing a journaling page. And I'm excited to use these dies that I got from Global Land, because see how this leaf has the holes and the jaggedy edges? Well, these leaves also have holes and jaggedy edges, and they're a good size. And actually, look at that. This oak leaf is almost the same as that one, isn't it? It has the holes and the jaggedy edges. Looks like the same kind of oak leaf. Some oak leaves have roundy lobes, and some have pointy lobes, and some look like chestnut tree leaves, and there's all different kinds of oaks. But yeah, so I'm excited to use these dies from Global Land, and I will link Global Land website and these dies below in the description box if you'd like to check these out. So this will be a process later on using those leaves to decorate the page. But first, I have to decide how I am going to record this leaf. Now, do I want to sketch it, Or maybe just do some watercolors and then do an ink sketch on top of the watercolor of both sides. I did take out a pencil because I was taking notes over here, but yeah, let's try this other method. Yes. So I have my Paul Rubens watercolors out here on the table. I'm going to juice them up by spraying. Just put some water on them, let them sit for a minute. Now these are usually very pigmented and juice up very quickly, so that's not going to take very long at all. I do need to go find a cup of water and my brush, which is, so you clean off the table, you can't find much, can you? I have some very inexpensive watercolor paper here, and let's just do some practicing. We'll call it practicing, but if we like the way it comes out, we will use we will use the leaf. Okay. So here's my leaf. I don't want to make it too big. So I need like a yellowish light green, some darker greens, some burnt siennas, maybe a little brown in there, some brown, little brown spot there. Now it doesn't have to be exact, no. Doesn't have to be exact. I'm going to take a little yellow, just make like a little yellow green, and we'll just call this a loose watercolor. Means we're not going for a lot of detail because I want to add some details with the ink. So I'm doing the main vein of the leaf, a little wider down there. And then it's got one little lobe there, but not on that side. And a larger lobe and a larger lobe, and the whole top of the leaf is missing. And then 3 lobes on that side. So I'm going to start with a really light color and then come back and add some darker green in there. And let's see, for the whole you leave the white of the paper if you can. You can always go back in with a white pen or something. And there's a big hole in here. Now we're not going for ultra fine details. No, this is just like a little watercolor sketch. This will not be a botanical rendering where you put in each little precise detail. Okay, that's that side. All right, now the other side doesn't have this lobe for some reason. And that part's going to be brown, but we'll just sketch it in here with the watercolor to start with. And a big lobe up here. And one up here, and it's kind of jaggedy. And I'm just sketching with the watercolor, getting the paper wet. Like that. All right, now do we want to go into it while it's wet? Shall we do wet on wet? Okay. Get a darker green. And it's really dark. You can see the texture of the gold press watercolor paper. Wet and wet can be a lot of fun. Just kind of drop those colors in there and let them play with the water. And go around the holes. Or wait, where was the hole? Oh, maybe the hole was supposed to be over here. Did I cover up the hole? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We'll just go around it like that. This can be the new hole over there. Add a little jaggedy edge up there. Oh, I never made the lobe look. Little roundy lobe on this look more like an oak leaf. Yeah. Like that. Now that side needs some of this burnt sienna brownish color. And we're just going to drop that in and let it play on the paper all the way down. I want some really dark color in there. I'm going to take some of this brown. It's probably a umber. Drop that in there. And let's add some of that to the tips here. Now, if you go back in on a part that's already kind of dried and you add water, it's going to make a little bloom. That's okay. Blooms look good on leaves. Gonna put some brown around the hole. See if I can get some of that dark color. Maybe put in a little more green. Make that little bit of hole over there. All right, now we're going to paint the other side. But I want to paint that little fuzzy pumpkin thing there. I want to hold the leaf sort of at an angle. I think I'll add a little bit more orange than what's really there. Although this is the color of like a Cinderella pumpkin, kind of a tannish. I'm just going to make it just slightly oranger. There's some red on here. I'll just use what's on the palette there. Okay, sketching with the paintbrush. It'd be hard doing this at an angle. Okay, so get the top of the pumpkin. And then there's like a lobe and a lobe and a lobe. Like that. Let that dry a little bit. I'll add some more to it in a second. Let's see. Now I need some green. Oh, green's back on the other side. Okay, it's near that really brown area. Although the color looks a little different on this side. So I can't get too close to that because now that's going to run on everything. So stem. And then the vein goes with the stem. And then you can see a little bit of the other side of the leaf. See a little bit of the hole over there. Oh, I don't want, I moved the leaf. All right, we don't want it to get too wide. Just putting in some darker green. Let's see, I need to stay away from the gall. So what can I do the rest of the leaf? Oh, put in some brown up here. I showed too much of that side. Now I've got to make this side wider. I'm going to take a dark color and drop it in right along the edge. I want to put some more orange on that pumpkin, but I don't want it to run into the leaf there. And when I say a bloom, something blooms. You can see here, these are blooms. The water just makes the paint spread out like that. I'm just dragging some of this color onto the white paper. So when I cut it out, I want like a white edge up on that side, but sort of a colored edge down on this side. I wonder if the little wasp came out of here, or if it's still inside. I don't know. And take some orange and mix it in with these dirty colors here. Okay, now, do I want to use my dip pen on this? This is my dippy pen, and my ink is, do we want to do this? Do I want to do this? Okay, this is a very wide point. Already got a big black blob right there.
Oh
Oh, my stars. Look what I did. Okay. I know. I turned the camera off because, you might not want to hear, much wailing and gnashing of teeth, but it wasn't so bad. I blotted it up a little bit and just put more green on the leaves, and we're going to try it again because, I'm brave. I'm brave. I'm brave. I don't know why it blobs like that. And if it happens again, well, then we'll learn our lesson. There's probably enough detail. I'm trying to get a thin line. Or maybe because there's so much paint here. It doesn't want to do a thin line. See, like that. It's so strange. I should just start over because I didn't like these black lines with the dippy pen. And I don't know, it's like this leaf is telling me, don't give up, don't give up. Don't give up. And I don't know, I just keep playing with it and playing with it, and I don't know. Like the ink is still a little, wet, so I'm just adding some more watercolor on top and blobbing the ink around, and I'm trying to get rid of some of those, solid straight lines. And well, this is really, not what I intended to do at all. Okay, but I did love those reddish brown colors on there. And I think I've completely lost that. I don't know if I could put some more of that back in. Now it's getting kind of dark. So I got to put the red in on top of the black. How not to watercolor paint, okay? Now it's very important to play with your colors, yeah. Well, I got rid of the black straight lines. And I got a little bit of that brownish red put back in. And I still have my little holes there. I don't know. What do you think? This is me making a mess, so you don't have to. It is kind of an interesting leaf, isn't it? Let's let this dry and see what it looks like. Now, what do I do with this one? I feel like I have to put the black on and then mess it up so that it matches that one. Because there's still something about this leaf that I know that I just like. I almost want to cut little holes in there, like real holes. Shall we be brave? Shall we roll up our sleeves and just do it? And just do it. Oh, this is the clean off paper. Okay, what we're not going to leave is this one. Oh boy, here we go. See, this came out very dark, but now I can see a little bit of the brown. All the yellow is completely gone, but that's okay. I might be able to drop a little bit of yellow in there. Oops, see? Already got a blob, but now I'm not worrying about it. No. Now it's just becoming part of the process. It's just going to become part of the process. I'm just going to put the black around the edge. And then I'm going to use the paint and move it around. And yeah, that's what's going to happen. On the back of the leaf, You can actually see the veins better, and I know they're yellow, but we're just going to have to do without the yellow. A little black around the hole. And then our little woolly oak gall pumpkin. Oops. Oops. Okay, we're just going to get black ink on there. And then we're going to mush it. Okay, now I'm going to take some green watercolor paint and trying to spread that black around. Okay, now I'm going to take some green watercolor paint and trying to spread that black around. Okay, what else can I do to damage this leaf? I took the knife and I cut a hole in it because, damaged already. You really can't ruin something that's already damaged, so, you might as well have a play. So I sort of scrubbed a little hole in the leaf because I wanted to see how that would look. I'm just going to paint the paper there so it doesn't look white. Oh boy. Well, I love my little leaf here. I scrubbed some holes in it, dropped ink on it, tried watercoloring it, watercolored it again, watercolored it the third time. The hardest part is trying to get this one to look as damaged as that one. There's just something about these leaves that I really, really love. Boy, did I make a mess. Yes, I did. And I haven't even gotten to the die cuts yet. But look at those. They survive. Now the underside of the leaf is a little lighter than the upside. Now this is just a utility knife that I kind of scraped that hole with. And they're still a little wet here. But all in all, what a process. I'll never be able to repeat this again because that was just like too many mistakes made. Well, this is just a little experiment because I wanted to try the quill pen on the watercolor. Yeah. Blob the ink. Didn't like how the pen came out. It's all good. I think these leaves came out awesome, perfect. There's my woolly oak gall that looks like a little pumpkin. The underside of the leaf, the front of the leaf. I know they're way darker now than this one. I've kind of lost my yellows and some of my reds, but that's okay. You know what? I'm going to keep these. Yes, I'm going to keep them because, man, that was quite the process, and I'll never be able to repeat that. Well, there's just something about the way these leaves came out. Yes. I don't know. I love them, and especially this little fuzzy woolly oak gall over here that looks like a pumpkin. I like the way it came out. Yes, I do. This one, I lost some of that red color, but yes, I even drilled holes in there. Once you ruin something, you can't ruin it again. Just have a play. Just keep going. Never give up the ship, right? It's very important to play with your art supplies, play with the watercolors and the ink, see how they played together, and not very nicely, but I do like the results. Yes, I do like the results. I don't know if I could ever do this again, but well, the more you play with your art supplies, the better you'll get at it. Well, eventually. Well, I've got to get to these die cuts, but I decided to have another play with the die cuts. Yes. The brush shows that I got at the flea market, yes, I want to try those. I've never used them before. So that's going to be a whole nother experiment. Yes, a whole nother experiment with the brush shows on my die cuts, my leaf die cuts. I'm going to try the white paper. And I'm going to try the brown paper too and see how they come out. So I'm going to hold off on making a journal page with these. I'll be putting them in, I don't know, either the September, October, November journal. I'll just choose one of those journals and do a little journaling about the fuzzy oak ball. But I want to make some more leaves to decorate around on the page. So I'm going to hold off on that. Take a break for now. I'm going to come back in another video and try playing with those brushos. So y'all come back now, you hear? Happy junk journaling. Bye-bye.